just the strangest feeling for me.
你好
Moving to China. To tell you the truth, I had an absolute blast. And then things changed. They have lots of nice little kind of like boutique stores here as well. Coco Chanel, little tester. Where the hell I'm supposed to meet her? Back in China, and it feels so weird for a number of reasons that I think I'll go into detail later, because the music is a little bit loud in here and I can't really explain myself properly, so let's talk. The view from our hotel room. Charlie's Charlie. Good morning and welcome to Shanghai. Oof, where to even start with this one? So first things first, we are here in Shanghai for 5 days actually, but I'd say that yesterday didn't really count because we just arrived on the Monday. And this is just the strangest feeling for me ever. It honestly, and I'm going to explain why. To understand my strange feelings, you probably have to understand a little bit more about my relationship with China and Shanghai, really. It all began maybe about 12 years ago. I was finishing school. I hadn't actually yet finished school, and my parents come up to me one day and they say, "So we've got some news to tell you." Da da da. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, what is it?" And they say, "We're moving to China." Okay. And I was like, "Wait, moving to China? What do you mean moving to China?" Like, I mean, I'd spent all my life living in England. You know, all my friends were the same. We'd all grown up in the same area, like a smaller town in the countryside in the north of England. And then suddenly my parents say they're moving to China. So this was a big shock for me. It's not a shock for them. They've lived all over the world throughout their lives. They lived in England, obviously, to start, in London. Then they moved to New York, to Melbourne, Australia. And then for my whole life, they'd stayed in this town in England. So for them, not that crazy. For me, big shock. So I cried. Stupid thing to cry about. Actually, for me, it was more like, oh, what are we going to do about the house and things like that. Silly girly stuff. So it happened. They moved to China. We rented out our family house and I moved out. As soon as I finished with school, I moved out into a smaller place that I could, you know, take care of. And yeah, that was that. So since then, I've been coming to Shanghai every year, maybe twice a year, to come and see my parents. So it was a strange thing for a long time coming to China to be connected with my family. I mean, I still have 3 brothers back in the UK, so, you know, I still had them. But yeah, so I've always had that kind of connection here in Shanghai. Since then, I moved to Australia. I lived a few years there. And then after my time in Australia, I also decided, I was kind of at a time in my life where I was like, okay, I need to make a decision. Like, things aren't working here. I either go back to London, I be with all my friends, you know, doing the whole London life thing, or I take a chance, I go to Shanghai, and maybe I try living there, because in my head, I'm like, I'm always going to have England there for me, right? I'm always going to have the opportunity of living in London. I mean, that's not going anywhere. Not for me anyway. So I thought, you know what? You only live once. Let's give China a go. I have the stability of having my parents there. I can stay with them whilst I look for a job and all these things. So that's what I did. And I stayed there for almost 4 years. To tell you the truth, I had an absolute blast. I had the best time, maybe one of the best time periods of my life. It was so much fun because there's quite a strong expat community here, or there was at the time. So everyone is all new, they're all away from their home country. So at the same time, that makes everybody open and friendly and, I don't know, just quick to accept you into their circle of friends. Or, you know, people are a lot more open about, hey, do you just want to go grab a coffee? Or, hey, do you want to come to this party that I'm going to? Blah, 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 these types of things. I also met Carlos here, so that was also a really fun, wonderful time in my life. And then things changed. I'm pretty sure by this point that everybody knows that COVID started in China, right? So I was here in Shanghai when that happened. When it happened at the beginning, it was obviously extremely terrible in Wuhan, where it started. But in Shanghai, and I would say in the rest of China, everything was pretty much just life as normal. And then when COVID started happening to the rest of the world, COVID was spreading, everyone was going under lockdown, China had such a good control over, you know, the movement of people, the control of the virus and taking health precautions and all these types of things, that we were actually allowed to do life completely as normal in China. The only thing is that the borders were closed. So me, myself, and the other expats here were kind of stuck in China, because if we went out, we definitely wouldn't be able to come back. So we ended up living here without leaving, I think for 3 years. Again, it was an amazing opportunity to travel, you know, to see all of China. It's such a vast landscape. They have everything, you know. You've got like sand dunes, mountains, beaches, everything. So that was definitely amazing. Where it got tricky is when the Omicron variant came about. And yeah, times got a little bit tough. I'm not going to go into the details. I just don't think this is the time or the place, and I still feel a little bit uncomfortable saying exactly what happened here. But I think the rest of the world got some of the news that, you know, we were fully locked down in our apartments, in our buildings. There was no way of getting out. We weren't going out to get food. We would have the government deliver us boxes of food to our houses. If you tested positive for coronavirus, you had to report it, or they would come and test you. We had testings done maybe every 3 days. They would take PCR tests for us. And if you tested positive, you would go to a COVID camp. Again, this is one of those delicate topics that I feel uncomfortable talking about. If you want to do your own research, go ahead, see what a COVID camp in China was, see if you can find out. It's not great. Let's just keep it at that. I tested positive. I was very scared, very anxious. We had animals in the house. This was also another thing. I was scared for them, their lives. It was difficult. To cut the story short, because of everything that happened during the Shanghai lockdown, I would say 90% of the foreigners here left. That was the last time I was here. I had left. I was feeling very anxious. I was feeling very traumatized. So it was Carlos. So it was everyone we knew. I left. My parents left. My brother left. My friends left. Everybody left. And it was during a time where Shanghai had gone from being this amazing, buzzing, friendly, international place to lifeless. That's the last time I was here. Which maybe explains to you a little bit why I felt a little bit anxious coming back here. But the good news is, it's so weird. I feel like I've gone 5 years in the past, because it's almost at this point now where it was like pre-COVID. There's so many people out in the streets again. I see foreigners again, you know, expats again. I'm revisiting all the like little cafes and streets where we used to live, and we're seeing old friends. And it's just, it blows my mind, honestly. It's almost as if the lockdown, COVID, everything was just a terrible nightmare. And yeah, what we're gonna do, we're going to revisit all my favorite places that I used to go. So China is notoriously difficult if you're gluten-free and vegan, because they eat a lot of meat here and a lot of soy sauce is in everything. So yeah, it's very difficult to be gluten-free, but living here for a few years, I figured out, you know, which places are safe to eat and which things are safe to eat. Another thing is that one of my best friends still lives here. She lives in Shanghai, she's from China, and I'm so excited to go and see her, which I'm actually going to do in the next half an hour. I'm going to leave and I'm supposed to be meeting her. She actually just flew in from Turkey, so she was on a really long flight, flew in at 7 this morning, and she told me I need to get at least a few hours sleep before I come and meet you, which is totally fine by me. So I'm gonna go head to lunch now, and I guess she's gonna meet me there at some point. I guess she'll show up, she'll roll out of bed. It is currently, I think, 1 p.m. So I think she's managed to get a few hours sleep now. So yeah, I literally can't wait. I am going to take you with me to revisit all the local spots and places that I always used to go and frequent and that I really enjoy. So I guess all that's left to do is get dressed, because I'm currently in my dressing gown. Funny story, not funny at the same time, is I looked at the weather forecast before coming here, and it was like 30 degrees, super warm, and I think I saw sunny as well. It changed. It changed the day of my flight. I said to Carlos, I'm gonna bring some jeans just in case, and he's like, no, don't be stupid, you don't need jeans, it's gonna be so hot. I'm gonna show you what it's like outside right now. This is the weather we're dealing with, people. I see umbrellas in the street. I see a lot of jeans. I see jumpers. So I'm not happy, because I practically packed for a summer holiday, basically. And I don't know what to wear. There is a Zara right down here, so maybe I pop in and have a look. I can literally see it from my window. I'm gonna show you. I spy Zara right there. Maybe I take a look in and just grab something so I don't freeze. So I'm gonna figure out what to wear. We're gonna work it out, and I'm gonna take you with me to lunch. First, we're going to go to a place called Rack that I love. I absolutely love it. They make these French galettes. To be clear, I'm not vegan, but I do try to eat mostly plant-based most of the time. But yeah, I meant to say, like, it's hard to be gluten-free, or it's also hard to be vegan. But I think there's options for both where we're going. Okay, this is the look we're going for, which is a pretty sporty attire plus Birkenstocks, because this is Carlos's jumper. It's the only thing that's going to keep me warm, and these workout shorts are the only thing I have that goes with it. So this is what we're going for, and I've got my big bag because I need maybe to do some work or some editing or something like that. So this is it, guys. Let's go. I brought this little Coco Chanel little tester perfume with me, which I feel is so convenient for when you're traveling, because I hate bringing like a full perfume with me when I'm traveling. Especially when I'm traveling, I didn't check in any luggage or anything like that, so I don't want to bring in my massive perfume. And right now I am just waiting for my Didi to arrive. So I booked a Didi, which you can do through WeChat. I still have all my like Chinese cards and everything linked, so getting around and traveling and paying for things is a lot easier for me than it is for the average traveler. And I'll go into more detail about that later. So I booked a Didi and I'm waiting for it to arrive now. And we're gonna go. The cars are always so fast here. And what I love is that it's always so much cheaper than in Singapore. The other thing is they have different versions of the Didi app, and they have one that's all in English, so it's super easy to understand. Oh, I don't have an umbrella, so I really hope it's just raining lightly at the moment, and let's hope it doesn't get any stronger. So already, as soon as I step out of the hotel, there's a guy approaching me like, bags lady, you want bags? I think they're just lingering outside the hotels so they can capture foreigners and sell them bags and watches. Fake ones, don't buy them. This really takes me back. The driver's listening to a Chinese audiobook. I used to have this so often. On Anfu Road. I actually at one point in time lived just off this street back there, so I'm gonna head to Rack, and usually it's so busy that you have to take a number, but I'm hoping that today, because it's a Tuesday and it's 2 p.m. and usually people have their lunch quite early here, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't have to wait. Definitely quieter than usual, and I guess that's because it's Tuesday, so I'm in luck. Okay, they didn't have the drink that I wanted. They didn't have soy milk, they didn't have coconut milk, and they didn't have the other like interesting drink that I really wanted to try, which is the one with coconut milk. So now I'm choosing something which I can't even remember what it was. I think it was coconut water, and avocado and something pink, and I think it's got pink lemonade in it. I can't even remember, but I hope it's good. The layers are coming off. It's actually quite warm now. Honestly, that was fantastic. If you want the best place to have galettes, it's there. Best place.
That's nice.
I just went quickly into a shop called Brandy Melville, which it's not Chinese or anything, I think it's American, right? Which I don't usually like, but I do know that they have good basics there. So I got like this really big, comfy, cozy hoodie for when I'm at home, which I really needed, because Carlos always puts the aircon on so high that I get cold, even in Singapore. And then they just have like nice basics, so I also got like a little basic top. I'm just on Anfu Road right now. They have lots of nice little kind of like boutique-y stores here as well, but I don't really have time to go in and look properly. But you can find everything like from jewelry to pajamas, from, I don't know, makeup. There's another store called Hame, which is just back there, and you can literally find like every different kind of makeup thing and hair care product that you could imagine. But the thing is, in China, do you know whether it's real or not? So that's the problem. I just thought I'd also capture, look at these little cute Chinese school buses. They're just waiting to pick up the kids from school. Cute. My friend had a big sleep, and then she had to do some teaching. So now I think we're finally going to meet up with each other. So I don't have any more time to do any more shopping, even though there are literally shops all along here, really cute ones as well. And it's quite busy actually, lots of people passing me, considering, oh wow, look at that. Considering it's a Tuesday in the middle of the day, there are a lot of people around. And in China, it's so normal for like new shops to pop up all the time, like old shops to die, new shops to pop up all the time. So it's quite interesting just seeing like what different kind of shops are around. This is one that I love. It's an interior design shop, and the stuff in here is just super cool. You have like all these crazy light fixtures and lamps. Look at this one. I think that is so cool. And this chair. Actually, this whole living room setup is pretty cool. Everything in there, like the art, the chairs, the lamps, this lamp. Oh, love it. It's actually starting to rain on my head, and as we know, I do not have an umbrella. So I'm just kind of taking it for now. Hopefully my friend will tell me where the hell I'm supposed to meet her. She's still in her lesson, so I think she'll be done in a minute and I can escape the rain. For restaurant recommendations, here's another one. This one is Mr. Willis. And they just have like nice Italian food, pizzas and things. It's pretty cute.
That's nice.
Okay, so before I was on the Puxi side of Shanghai, which is on the other side of the river, and now I am on the Pudong side, and this is quite cool. We have like a running track and a cycle track all along here, as you can see. Nice. And now I'm going to go and try and find my friend because I don't know where I'm going. Let's see if I can spot her. First, let me just show you the river. You have all these little shops, not shops, cafes by the side. I am looking for one called Mrs. Bunny. I think it's Mrs. Bunny. And I have no idea where it is because I've never been to this one before. I'll just have to keep my eyes open, I guess. Found it. This is Mrs. Bunny. And true to the name, it's got bunnies. Okay, I think I've seen her. Should I run? I'm gonna run. I'm running! Me too! Oh, how are you? I'm good! Better for seeing you now.